Good afternoon, everybody. Hello, and welcome to Stream 31 with me, Julia, streaming for Smrt, intermediate level, 120. Nice to see a bunch of you in the chat. And yeah, you're correct. Gertie, good memory. We are talking about phrasal verbs today. So I'm seeing a few people in the chat are saying that it's your first time here. Welcome. Hopefully you have a good time and you learn some things, and yeah, I hope you enjoy it. As you can see that people are, writing in the chat, and you're totally welcome to participate as well. Hello, Lolly and Wassam and Russian Bear. Hello, Lavina, Michaeli, Saeed, Gertie, Rodgal. Awesome. Just going up and seeing everyone. Fast Fan is here. Nazruddin, Noha, Jeffrey, Aaron. Wow, so many names. Komal, hello. Maya. Wow. Lots of people, lots of familiar names. Anise, great. Raga, awesome. Okay, well, I hope you're all doing well. I have a bit of a cold, so I don't maybe sound exactly like usual, but that's all right. It will pass soon. Hi, F-Truth. All right, good. So guess what? It's snowing in Vancouver. That's pretty rare in the winter here. So it's pretty fun. I love snow, so I am enjoying it thoroughly. And I usually go to the ski hill. As most of you know, I love snowboarding, so I am living a really happy life right now, and I'm hoping that it will continue. All right, so let's get started. Yes, we are doing phrasal verbs for the next hour, okay? So we're gonna get started. There are so many, so hopefully you don't feel overwhelmed, okay? There are a lot of phrasal verbs in English, hundreds of them, so we will not obviously be speaking about all of them or even close to all of them, but we are definitely going to touch on a lot of them and some of the rules for using them as well, okay? So yeah, we'll go through the Smrt page, we'll do some of our own examples, and we'll also do some Smrt exercises today as well. So let me make this bigger. Yeah, phrasal verbs. Oh, Jeffrey, the most common phrasal verb in English? Well, that's a very difficult question to answer. There are so many, but looking forward to is a very common phrasal verb, as an example. A lot of people use this phrase. I'm looking forward to meeting you. I'm looking forward to seeing you. I'm looking forward to my vacation. I'm looking forward to visiting my family, okay? So many people use looking forward to mean what they are excited for in the future, okay? Look after, yes, there were, look after means like babysit, but it can also mean to, look after plants while someone is away, look after a car or a house. There are a lot of different things you can look after, but people often use it about children as well. Okay. Yes, Lolly, they are difficult to memorize because of the sheer amount of them, but it's good to, not overwhelm yourself, kind of start small and work your way up and start trying to memorize the matchups as well. Gertie, Grouse Mountain, good job on using a tag question. Just to check something quickly, it would be Grouse Mountain is so nice, isn't it? Because you're using the be verb. Remember to always repeat the be verb. Yes, I really like Grouse Mountain. I think it's just nice because it's easy to get there, and they have a lot of activities up there. So yeah, it's really nice place to go and get some exercise. Running out of, exactly. Yes, isn't it? Exactly. Okay, so let's get started here. Phrasal verbs. A lot of the phrasal verbs on this page, we're going to focus with the particles in, out, away, and back, but we're not limited to that. And also, we're going to talk about phrasal verbs today, and then 3 streams from now, I'm going to talk about them again, actually, because I'm following the Smrt 120 curriculum, okay? So look at this example sentence. My laptop is running out of power. I should probably plug it in. Okay, so we've got 2 phrasal verbs. Running out of in the present continuous. So to run out of something simply means that it's getting low. The supply that you have is getting low. Okay, so of course the tense that you use changes how much of the source that you have. If you're using present continuous, then perhaps your battery is on 20% or something like that. If you say, my laptop ran out of power in the past simple, then of course 0 power, right? It's done. And plug it in is simply to connect electricity into the outlet, okay? The opposite of plug in is not plug out, it's actually unplug. Good, so I'm seeing some, Saeed, no, you cannot remove the verb run. Sorry, let me check myself. Yes, you can, definitely. You can say my laptop is out of power. That means it's done, totally. Run just makes, modifies how much power you might have. Good, Rodgal, calm down. A lot of people say this, calm down. It means relax, Chill out, very similar, more informal. Yeah, keep on going. Yeah, don't give up. Yes, so I'm just trying to keep up with all of your examples. Plug off? No. Unplug. Yeah. Buzz off. Some people say, hey, buzz off. It's like slang to mean go away, leave me alone, buzz off. Good sentence, Raga. I look after my sister. Good. Hang out, spend time with someone socially. Awesome. So you guys already have a lot of phrasal verbs in your vocabulary, it sounds like. Let's go through them. Okay, so phrasal verbs. As you know, we've got a verb and a particle. Okay, so phrasal verbs are a more casual way of speaking, but they are very common. A lot of times a phrasal verb will have a synonym, a more formal word, okay? So a synonym, remember, is another word with a similar meaning, okay? So for example, turn up the volume, I could say, which is much more casual, or I could say, could you please increase the volume? So turn up means increase, okay? Let's see, run away. Yeah, so run away, it depends on context, of course, but of course it can be like the dog ran away, or the child ran away from home. He came back an hour later, something like that. So to wear someone down, good, this is exactly right, Ismail, to make someone feel disappointed and tired, right? If you're wearing someone down, you're kind of like sucking the energy from them, that kind of thing. Hello, Nanad, welcome. Nohan, we don't say, you could say my phone is running out of charge, but I think it's more common to say my phone is running out of battery. Okay, and a slang way of speaking, some people say my phone is running out of juice. If you ever hear that, juice is referring to charge, battery. Let's see. Russian bear, interesting. Yeah, I mean, all different, testing places, platforms have different rules. And they are very casual, so that could be why they prefer more formal. Aaron, good job. If that's true, congratulations. Gave up smoking, so you quit smoking. That's great. Yes. Okay. Yeah, Brian, it's just, juice. Running out of juice. It means battery. Okie dokie. So, particles, which goes with the verbs, these could be a preposition or they could be an adverb, okay? And these are some examples of common prepositions, okay? Generally, the preposition particles are more tied to the object that comes after, which the preposition modifies. And a lot of times, if it's an adverb particle, it's more tied to the verb, and it can create an idiomatic kind of meaning, okay? Lolly lolly, good phrasal verb. If that's true and you're happy about it, then congratulations, I guess. If you're not happy about it, I hope you get over it soon, which is another phrasal verb, get over. So to get over is to overcome something that is difficult in your life, okay? So for example, it takes time to get over a relationship ending, or it takes time to get over a pet dying, or a loved one passing away. It takes time to get over that. Good, Rodgal. Please don't stop working. Carry on. Yeah, carry on means keep going. Exactly. Carry on. Gertie, yeah, get over means overcome. Thank you, Brian. And Julia brings out the best in us would be the preposition in us. Good, Lolly. I'm happy to hear that. Glad to hear that. All right, let's keep going down. So phrasal verbs, some phrasal verbs are very easy to guess because you can kind of picture it happening, like put on. I need to put on my jacket if we're going outside, okay? The opposite of put on your jacket is take off your jacket. Sit down is also an obvious one. Could everyone please sit down, okay? So sometimes the prepositions have to do with direction, right? Maya, good for you. Cut down on smoking. Good. So to cut down on something, to do less of it. That's awesome. Yeah, baby steps, right? Raman, you were looking forward to starting my live stream. Good. Well, I'm happy. Happy you were looking forward to it. So, Miriam, that's good, but be careful with your sentence because, it depends on the meaning of it, of course, but take off all your outdoor clothes, like your coats and stuff like that. Russian bear, dress up is the correct expression, okay? So dress up has two different meanings. I'm going to go to my document for a moment, and I'm just going to go through some of your examples. Let's dress, and I'll underline it, let's dress up for Halloween this year. Okay, so this means costume. Fun costume. It's a fun costume if that's the case. Or let's dress up for the theme party. Or we can say let's dress up for our work event. I want to look nice. Okay, so that would mean dress in formal wear. Okay, so dress up can have different meanings depending on your context. Let's see some more of your examples. Nohan, you got over the nervousness. Good. That's a good use of get over. Overcome the nervousness. Yeah. Raga, he gave up smoking. Try to use the past tense there if it's something that's finished. Hi. Lavina, get down from the table. Yes, you could say that if someone were on top of the table, for example. Maybe some children or something. Hello, Plinio. Welcome. Ismail, sail out. Get out hurriedly. Could mean that, for sure. It could mean that. And phrasal verbs are a bit tricky for me to teach as well because there are so many different meanings of these verbs, and sometimes it depends on if it's in my vocabulary or not, you know? With all the different, you know, North American English, British English, so many different ones. So sail out, I would think the literal meaning of when you're on a sailboat and you're leaving the port. Okay. Let's see. Lolly, nice. That sounds like a good costume. Okay, Brian has a question. What's the difference between run into and bump into? No difference. No difference. Both of these phrasal verbs are to talk about when you see someone unexpectedly, right? Run into or bump into. Okay, so some example sentence. I ran into my high school teacher at the gym. Okay, or I bumped into my old roommate in the grocery store. Yeah, both good. So run into, bumped into, seeing someone you know unexpectedly. Good. Whoa, spelled that wrong. Unexpectedly. Yes, so this stream, I knew this stream was going to be like this. It's going to be a lot of your examples and me trying to put them into sentences for you and kind of explaining them. There's not too much grammar involved with phrasal verbs. It's more, like Lolly said, memorizing more and more and trying to use them in your everyday vocabulary. But there are some grammatical things to remember with phrasal verbs. So before we keep giving more examples, let's go over some of those things, okay? So let me make sure I didn't miss anyone's comment. I saw someone asked more further up. What did I miss? I think someone was asking about improving. Oh, they must have taken the example away. But adding phrasal verbs to your everyday vocabulary as second language speakers, I would really just, try to listen for them when you're watching television shows or movies. Make notes of phrasal verbs you are not familiar with. Look up the meaning of them. Consciously try to use more and more in your own speaking, that kind of thing. But always asking questions. When a native speaker uses a phrasal verb and you don't know the meaning, just ask them to tell you. And most people are happy to explain. Let's see. Okay, Fast Fan. What's the difference between dress up and wear up? I've never heard wear up before. No, I don't think that's a phrasal verb, no. Dress up, usually people, Halloween is only once a year. Costume parties don't happen that often. So dress up is really commonly about formal wear when you're wearing a dress or a suit and you're trying to look nicer than usual. Yeah, putting in a little more effort. So let's see here. Put the light on, Russian bear, good. Put on the light, exactly. Miriam, I put off my work for tomorrow, good. Or you could say, I put off my work until tomorrow. Let's see here. Plinio, oh, I'm glad you watch the videos. I'm glad you find some use from them. Thank you for the compliment. That's awesome. So dull up. It wouldn't be dull up because dull has a negative meaning. Dull down. Dull down would mean to make something less exciting. But spruce up is to make something nicer. Okay, so for example, if your home, if you want to change your living room, for example, because you are bored of how your living room looks, you might, say to your kids or to your husband or wife or partner or whoever, roommate, let's spruce up the living room, okay? Let's spruce up the living room means just put some effort into making it nicer. Well off, yeah, well off is to talk about someone who is rich, yeah, and who has a lot of money. An adjective to describe them. Mm-hmm. Let's see here, what else? Hello, Imad, hi there. So Fast Fan, I dress up in Libyan clothes, so don't forget in. Hey Tham, used to is a phrasal verb. Yeah, so used to, it can have a few different meanings. I'll put that one on the list because it's pretty common. Used to, something you did in the past but no longer do. Okay, so example, I used to play hockey on an all-girls team. Okay, I used to play hockey on an all-girls team, so that means that I don't anymore, but I used to. Okay, or be used to something. Kind of being, so this one is being comfortable. And I'll give you an example sentence for that. I am finally used to waking up early. Yeah. This one's more of an adjective, okay? So but you have, same words, different meanings. So verb, adjective. Okay, let's see here. McKaylee. Good, McKaylee. I'll put some money away because I need to buy a new book. Good. Put some money away, save some money. Okay. So let me just make sure I'm keeping up. There are so many examples, so I don't want to miss any. But before I talk about more of your examples, let me just go through some of the important things to remember. Okay, so as we learned in Smrt just now, that the phrasal verbs, they have a particle, right? And these are examples of particles. Okay, we know that the particle can be a preposition or an adverb. Okay. Sometimes you might hear different vocabulary from different outlets, different teachers, like a 2-part phrasal verb or a 3-part phrasal verb. Okay. This is just about how many particles there are. For example, 2-part phrasal verb is a verb plus 1 particle, and a 3-part phrasal verb is a verb and 2 particles. Okay. So look at this little picture that I got off the internet as well, because it's a good thing to be aware of, that if you're thinking about transitive phrasal verbs, then you do have to ask yourself about the phrasal verb itself and if it's separable or not, okay? Just a reminder on vocabulary, transitive phrasal verbs mean that there is an object after, okay? That the phrasal verb requires an object to be complete. Intransitive phrasal verbs means there is no direct object. For example, here, I get up at 6, okay? I get up at 6, no direct object. Get up simply means leave the bed after you're finished sleeping, okay? So when you determine that your phrasal verb is transitive, then you do have to ask yourself, is it a separable phrasal verb or an inseparable phrasal verb, okay? So look at this example, I'll look after him. Look after, as we saw in the chat earlier, is to mean take care of, you know, make sure that the person or thing is good. So look after is not separable. You have to keep the verb and the particle together. Turn off is separable, okay? So I can't just say, hey, turn off. I have to say what I'm talking about. So turn off the TV, or turn off the music, turn off the radio. I can also separate turn and off. I can say, hey, turn the TV off, or hey, turn the radio off, okay? So we gotta keep going here and talk about a few more grammar things. If you're using a transitive phrasal verb that takes an object, be careful with the object placement. And unfortunately, this is a lot of memorizing as well to determine which ones you can separate and which ones you can't. If your phrasal verb is inseparable, the object must come after the particle, even if, I'll just change this, even if the object is a pronoun, okay? So just going back to Smrt here for a moment, we're going to talk about this rule here. If a phrasal verb takes an object, there are usually two possible places to say the object, okay? And like I said, in the middle or on the outside. I need to put on my jacket. I need to put my jacket on. No difference. Please be quiet, let's not wake up the baby. Or please be quiet, let's not wake the baby up. Throw away. Could you do me a favor and throw away the garbage? Could you please do me a favor and throw the garbage away? So there's no difference there. If your object is a pronoun and your phrasal verb can be separated, so there is a rule here that the pronoun must go in the middle, okay? If you put it on the outside, it sounds very wrong. So for example, if someone's like, hey, could you do me a favor and throw away the garbage? And you're like, what do you want me to do with the garbage? Just throw it away. Throw it away. So if you change the pronoun, the object to a pronoun, then you have to put it in the middle, okay? Look at this. Is it okay with you if I turn off the music? Is it okay with you if I turn the music off? Or do you like this music? No, it's awful, turn it off. Okay, so this music, if someone's asking you about it, generally speakers will replace the noun with a pronoun after it has already been mentioned one time in the conversation. So we need to put it in the middle, okay? So let me check in on the chat here. Mohammed, you used to play hockey in the playground. Nice. Good, Aaron. You already have $100 socked away for a car. Right on. Socked away, not in my vocabulary, but definitely in someone else's vocabulary. Yeah, it means saved, put away. Saeed, interesting about whether or not you learned about phrasal verbs. They didn't talk about it in your school method. So, yeah, when we're talking about meet and meet up with, so if it's your friend, you already know each other. Usually natives, where my friends and I, and other people, I'm sure, usually we say meet up with, like, I went to meet up with my friend last night, or we met up on Tuesday, okay? Because meet is usually when you meet someone for the first time. So if it's somebody you know, we often make it a phrasal verb, meet up with. Rodgal, you used to drink coffee 5 times a day. Wow, that's a lot. And now how much do you drink? Less? Good, Maria, you've been tidying up your room all day. Well, it must have been quite messy if it's taking you all day. That's good, though. So phrasal verbs are important if your goal is to speak fluent, casual English, I would say, in my opinion. Yeah. They would definitely teach phrasal verbs in speaking type courses, for sure. Maybe not a more formal type of course. Giovanni, thank you. I'm glad you like them. Ismail shouted him down when he tried to speak. Shout down, it's more so shut down. Shut down. The audience shut him down when he tried to speak. Yeah, instead of shout, shut. S-H-U-T. Fast fan, well, practice, right? I know it sounds very cliche, but if you want to learn, I think, any second language, you really just have to expose yourself to it and put in the effort, really. I think we are in control of our own progress, not teachers, not parents, not anybody else, ourselves. Of course, teachers and everything helps, but yeah, you got to be motivated, right? Let's see. Good, Fast Fan. That's a good advice for Raga, too. Okay, so Maria, the difference between chat up or talk up. She chatted me up. Yeah, so I think chat up is more common here, like when someone, it can be used in a romantic context as well, like he tried to chat her up for hours or something like that. But not always romantic, just someone who is talking a lot to you. Talk up is when you try to make something look good, like my friend wanted to see a movie and she really talked it up, but when I saw it, it wasn't that good. So when you talk something up, you're pumping it up, like you're making it seem really good. Yeah. Do I know every phrasal verb? No, definitely not. There are probably a lot I don't know, especially when it comes to, British English. Yeah. Also, phrasal verbs are, they're getting on the higher intermediate level. They're not very easy, okay? So don't be worried if you're feeling a little lost or anything like that, okay? Okay, back to my document here. So when we are talking about phrasal verbs, the grammar aspect of it is that if there's an object involved, okay, if your phrasal verb is transitive and you have an object, your phrasal verb can be inseparable, which means you can't place the pronoun in the middle. The pronoun has to come on the end, okay? So, for example, of inseparable phrasal verbs, I can always count on my dad to give me good advice, okay? Count on is the same as rely on, okay? It's like when you can trust that someone is going to be there, okay? If you can also say, I can always count on him to give me good advice. Him is a pronoun, so if you're looking back at this rule here in Smrt, yes, this is a rule a lot of the time, but there are exceptions, and that is when the phrasal verb is inseparable, okay? Or I could say to someone, oh, you really take after your mother. This is kind of like resemble, all right? Or I could say, you really take after her. So just be careful when your phrasal verbs are inseparable. A lot of phrasal verbs are separable, okay? So that means you can separate them. The object, it's your choice, can go in the middle or it can go on the outside, okay? And then the rule does apply. If your object is a pronoun, it's got to go in the middle of the phrasal verb. So look at these examples. I need to go home and let my dog out. If you change that to a pronoun object, I need to go home and let her out. Okay. Can you turn this song up? Or object pronoun. Pronoun object, sorry. I love this song. Can you turn it up? So it must go in the middle. Okay. So let's go back and look through some more examples. Okay, so good, Maya. Your phone has been acting out recently. So I would tell you to use up. Okay, my phone has been acting up recently. Acting up. I'm going to put some more of your examples on. Acting up. Okay, so acting up equals not working normally. Okay, or not behaving. Not behaving well, okay? But acting up, so yeah, you said my phone has been acting out recently. Acting out, more for humans not behaving well, okay? So like children. If you're talking about products, usually we use the particle up. So you would say that your phone has been acting up. And that's a very common expression. But if I'm using acting out, I could say the youngest child keeps acting out. I think he wants attention, or something like that. So, I mean, they are actually, now that I'm thinking about it more, they're pretty interchangeable. I could say the youngest child keeps acting up. I think he wants attention. I just think when you're talking about a phone, acting up is more common. Let's see here. Michael Wang, welcome. You're a little bit late, but that's okay. You can always rewatch after. Raman, good example. Mark is having a birthday party on Saturday. Let's show up at 7 p.m. Good. Show up, arrive, right? You could also say let's head there at 7 p.m. Head there. Hey Tham, I would probably avoid using phrasal verbs in academic writing, but of course it depends on, it really depends on exactly what you are writing about. Show up, arrive. Okay. To rely on, yep. To count on, to rely on, to trust. So Saeed, is it okay to say throw garbage and old books and used pens away? I mean several items in between. Yeah, that's okay. But if you have several items, generally people keep the particle with the verb. Like, okay, we need to throw away the garbage, the old books, and the used pens. Okay, because when the object gets longer, usually we keep the verb and the particle together. But you don't have to. Aaron, I was not going to, what did you say? Put up with her impudence. We split up. Good. Put up with, yeah, that means like deal with. Exactly. Brian, do without is inseparable. Yes. How can you do without her? Or how can you do without him? How can you do without your phone? Yes, do without, inseparable. Maya, great sentence. I picked my friends up from the railway station yesterday and dropped them off at the airport. Perfect. Good. Yes, Yulia Moody, she is named after her mother. She is named after her. Named after is inseparable. Fast fan, turn the TV on, turn it on, and turn on the TV. All good? Yes. Yep, good. Komal, I hope she will get well soon. Good. Get better soon. Also good. Giovanni, oh, that's okay. I hope you have a good day, whatever you have to do. See you next week if you come. Yeah, Russian bear, show up has a different meaning as well, and that's a good point, because a lot of them do have different meanings. That's what makes them very tricky. But it's all about time. You have to put in the time to, learn phrasal verbs. My mother is a second language English speaker. She's fluent. She's been in Canada since she was 18, but I'm sure there are phrasal verbs that she doesn't even know, to be honest. Not to discourage you, though. So show up, yes. Show up can be do something better than another person. So for example, my roommate really showed me up in Scrabble. I did terribly. Okay. Oops. Good. Okay. Yeah, Aaron, definitely. That has a more formal meaning as well. You could say like the scientists carried out the experiment over a course of 3 years or something like that. But I mean, at the same time, I don't want to say yes or no to using phrasal verbs in academic writing because, I don't want to get you in trouble or anything like that. You should always ask the person who's giving the assignment what they would prefer or what you should do. Good. Let's see. Gertie, difference between show up and come out. Come out is just to join, You could say like to your friends in a social setting, like, are you going to come out with us tonight? A show up is more like, it can also mean come though. You could say, I really want you to show up tonight. Are you going to show up? Do you promise that you will show up? That kind of thing. Let's see. Yeah, Aaron, I think maybe both of those, carried out or conducted, in my opinion, they both sound formal enough, but conducted might be your best bet. Yes, Brian, you can use pick up meaning to learn. I've been picking up English for 4 years. Yes, you could say I've been picking up Yep, that's a good sentence. I've been picking up English for 4 years. Yeah, good. Maria, turn down means to say no. So turn down is decline. For example, she turned down the job opportunity. She turned down the job opportunity. Okay, so that means decline. Separable. She turned the job opportunity down. Yeah, Ismail, point out. I would say there's really no one way or the other answer for whether or not to use phrasal verbs in academic writing. Always best to just ask the questions if you're not sure. Yeah, Russian Bear, get out of your comfort zone. It's always good to get out of your comfort zone. Let's see here. And I think Plinio, I'm from Canada. Yeah, I'm from Ontario originally. Ahmad, yes, most phrasal verbs do have different meanings. Not all of them, but yes, that's a very common occurrence. Yeah. Okay, so let me go back to Smrt. We're getting close to 4 o'clock here, so let's go back to Smrt. As it says here, sometimes a phrasal verb is followed by a preposition, okay, which is also referred to as a 3-part phrasal verb because you have your verb and 2 particles, okay? So in this case, 99% of the time, they are not separated, these words, okay? So, for example, when are you coming back to Canada? Canada can't go anywhere else. My wife always tells me to stay away from casinos, okay? Casinos can't go anywhere else. Let's get out of here. I want to go home, okay? So here, can't go anywhere else. Let's see. The statements from the witnesses didn't add up. That's a good one, Maya. Add up. Good. That just means they didn't really check out, which is another thing. Like there were mistakes and discrepancies in them and differences and that kind of thing. Gertie, if you study medicine, you'll turn into a doctor. A little bit strange, I think, to say turn into a doctor. Yeah, it's better to say you'll become a doctor. Yeah, you'll become a doctor. Komal, that's the literal meaning of add up. Exactly. We have to add up the numbers to make a total. Yeah, that's the literal meaning. If you say someone's information isn't adding up, it means that you have doubts about it. Like maybe they're lying about something or something like that. Back up can mean to support. Yeah, like people can say, hey, I'm trying to win an argument with my roommate. Can you back me up on this? Can you back me up? Yeah, so we're going to get into that. So phrasal verbs with in and out. So they can be used with rooms and buildings and cars and that kind of thing. So let's start with in. And looking at the time, I think we'll probably do another, carry this over to next week's stream as well. I think we'll do that because so much for phrasal verbs, so many. Yeah, back up, support. So in, the car stopped and the person got in. So obviously here, got in, there's no object, so intransitive. When are you moving into the apartment? So into, because we have the object, the apartment. If you delete the apartment, then you delete to, and you can just say, when are you moving in? No into. Cheryl came into the room and sat down. If you delete the object, the room, then you also delete to, and you can just say, Cheryl came in and sat down. Let's jump into the car and go to the beach. Okay, so again, if you delete the car, you can delete to, and you can just say, let's jump in and go to the beach. It's just like saying, let's get in and go to the beach. Get into the car. Someone broke in and stole my laptop. Here, we don't have an object, so there's no into. If you included my house, then you would include to. Someone broke into my house and stole my laptop. Okay. Let's go through out. Rodgal, carry on is continue. Russian Bear, yeah, back up your claim with evidence. Exactly. Kadesha, if you save enough money, you can eventually buy a car. Yeah, and you could add, if you want to make a phrasal verb, if you save up enough money. Save up. If you want to make a big purchase, usually you save up for said purchase. Okay. Kamal, good sentence. My computer is acting up. I think I might have a virus. Good. No, Saeed, because it depends on if you have an object or not. If there's no object, in. If there is, into. Yes. Look out for cars. Exactly. Look out is a phrasal verb that is also commonly used just like that, you know, like as a warning. If you're walking across the street and you all of a sudden see like a bicyclist coming, you might say, yell to your friend, like, look out. Watch out is another one, okay? Look out, watch out, heads up. These are all warning signs, okay? And I'll put those on the document as well. Look out, heads up, watch out. Okay, so these are warnings for possible danger. Good. Back to the document. So out. Same thing with in and into, with out and out of. We walked out of the theater because the movie was just terrible. If you delete the theater, you can delete of. We walked out because the movie was just terrible. Okay? Like left, we left. You should stay in the middle of the boat. You don't want to fall out. So again, we're not saying the boat. So we don't have to say, you don't want to fall out of the boat. We need to check out of the hotel by 11 a.m. tomorrow. Check out, to leave a hotel, right? If you are including the word the hotel, you're going to include the word of. Delete that, and you can just say, we need to check out by 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. Okay. Another example, could you please let the dog out? Okay, or could you please let out the dog? So obviously a dog, I mean, maybe some dogs can, but most dogs can't let themselves out of the house. So you have to do it, right? Twist the knob. A little bit of a negative sentence here. I hate you, get out. Okay? If you include of, you would need an object. So get out of here. Get out of here. Yes, Saeed, it's what we call a three-part phrasal verb. You know, you have two particles. With a three-part phrasal verb, the second particle is a preposition. So you always need to have an object after the preposition. Let's see. Chill out. Yeah, chill out means relax. Chill out. Let's chill out. I don't want to do anything tonight. Let's just chill out. Okay, relax. But also people use this like if you're having a disagreement with someone and they're like, chill out. Maybe it could, cause more tension if someone's telling you to chill out. Imad, workout, can mean find out. Yes, it can. We need to work out who stole the computer. Or we need to figure out who stole the computer. We need to find out who stole the computer. Lolly, don't let the cat out of the bag. Good, that's an idiom expression. Yeah, it means don't tell the secret. Okay, Aaron, that's right. You should never let your friends down. Yeah. Like there's a song, I think it says, don't let me down. I won't sing, but don't let me down it means don't disappoint me. Yeah. Kamal, good. That's a literal meaning. They acted out the story on stage. Yeah, literally acted out the story. Brian, yeah, you sound like a native speaker. Lolly, get out of my sight, we say, not my eyes. Get out of my sight, like the sense, my sight. Maya, the tire of my car blew out. Oh, that's scary. Rodgal, we say, I want to check in my luggage, not check out, check in my luggage. Okay, good. All right, so let's see here. Note the difference between in and into. Okay, so if you say to someone, hey, here's the key, let yourself in anytime. You don't need to because you're not using an object. Or you could say, here's the key, let yourself into my apartment anytime. You have into, so you need my apartment. Same thing for out and out of, okay? So before we leave for the airport, we need to check out. Or before we leave for the airport, we need to check out of the hotel. Check out of, yeah. Rodgal, face the music. That's an idiom to mean deal with what you have to deal with. Yeah. Aaron, my car pegged out near my house. Pegged out. I'm not familiar with that one. Do you know what it means? It sounds like it would mean maybe stopped working, like stalled or something. I don't know. I don't know that one. Pegged out. Okay, so I'm just seeing how many. Yeah, so there are several more phrasal verbs on this page. So we are probably going to carry over next week, and we'll do one more to finish off this lesson, okay? So, sorry, my throat is getting irritated now that I've been speaking for an hour. But yes, so that's going to be the plan. We're going to carry this lesson over into next week, okay? So next week, I'm going to remind you of some of the grammar, separable, inseparable, and we're going to continue to talk about more examples and what they mean and create more examples together as a class, okay? So if you are not tired of phrasal verbs, then come back next week and we'll do one more hour of phrasal verbs together, okay? And in the week that's going to pass, if you hear any phrasal verbs, bring them to the lesson next week. If you have more questions, bring them to the lessons next week, okay? So, hope you guys learned something and enjoyed the hour. Yeah, thank you. Have a great day. Enjoy. Yeah, keep practicing, and We'll see you next week. Okay? Take care. Bye-bye.